my mom came into the room and she's like, look at my phone. And then I couldn't see it, so I had to look at mine. I'm like, oh.
I can't bet against Tom Brady. I have the Bucks winning 31-27 and Tom Brady going to his 10th championship.
Yeah, and I really think the Clippers' chance to win the championship was last year. And they were up 3-1 against the Denver Nuggets.
Chris Paul is one of the most underrated players of all time. He's been the best player wherever he goes, and that includes with the Rockets.
You said you can't bet against Tom Brady, and as a Cowboys fan and what I just did last weekend, I am not going to bet against Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl. I mean, that's all I can really say. There's two of the top 5 players in the league, and they are very, very good.
Hello, I'm Taylor Hearn, and you listen to The Outsiders' Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week and our first and last preseason video for this year. As this is the final week of preseason, Austin, and what to expect. I'm interested in the Browns because they've already set their quarterback situation. But
Same thing with the Colts.
Yeah. Yeah. But the Saints have not decided their quarterback. So that is something to where it does play a factor into it. The Colts and Browns, though, is interesting because I think they're kind of close. So why not give it another week? But I guess that shows how much they don't care about week 3 of the preseason.
True. Week 3 is always the week that you think you'll get at least, like Mahomes hasn't played this preseason. You'll probably get a drive at least, right? You want him to get some touch and feel before the season starts. And that'll be true for most teams. Most ones will get at least a drive this week, unless they're unhealthy. Like I saw Lamar had an injury scare today, so he may not play this week, but most starters will play this week, at least a drive. I think you're looking for improvement with your young players and consistency from your older players. You want to see everyone start to, if they're new to the offense, get used to the offense, get used to the schemes. On defense especially, I feel like new roles in a defense can kind of mess some people up, whether or not they're in their normal positions or if they've changed positions or moved guys around. I think this is kind of where we saw success from Zach Bond last year. I think Bond kind of got into kind of his role in the preseason, and that carried over to a very good regular season where he was an all-pro. I think there's more guys around the league that are making maybe not the same change that he did, but similar changes, whether it's position-wise, moving from corner to safety or in other ways. But rookies, I think, do obviously, or younger players get the most out of the preseason, while older players are just trying to make sure that they're warm come week 1.
Yeah, and some teams, I know the Cowboys are not playing any of their starters. They're just they don't want to risk that. Preseason, week 3 of the preseason is really like, okay, this is where you're going to give a lot of guys who you're unsure about a chance. And to me, this is a great week for teams like the Patriots or the Browns of what can they find through all these other players that are probably going to get cut. To me, this is a lot of skill or running back, I think could be a key thing. You could see a running back have a great game and be like, okay, we want to see what he does. Because you're always there's always going to be a surprising running back that can just have some great bursts. Not going to be a bell cow, but can be a nice piece for a team like the Cowboys that they don't really have a running back. And yeah, so I see it more as, okay, where are some depth pieces? Where can we find a diamond in the rough?
Yeah, that's a good point. And there are some guys, I mean, with Jaden Blue's injury, Phil Moffa's kind of stepping up, and we'll see. I know week 1 of the preseason, he had a much better game than he did last week, but last week he didn't get that many carries. I think he only had 2 or 3 carries. So there's a lot of teams that need to decide on some positions, who's going to win and who's going to get cut. I do think this is the most important week of the preseason because those are really when the cuts are made, is right after this game.
Yeah, it is the most important and about the cuts, but it's the least exciting one to me because they're going to play the guys that you don't really know because they want to see, is this someone we can keep or should we cut him the next day?
Sure, I can see that. I can also see how that would be exciting, though, to the right type of fans, because I mean, they're playing for their jobs.
Yeah, like I think if you're, like I would say I love football, but like they're just, I don't want to dedicate my entire weekend to preseason football. But if someone's like, I really want to watch this game, I'm a huge diehard football fan and Ravens fan, then I can totally see them watching it and be like, oh man. Or if you're the Cowboys, like, I want to see Phil Maffa play. I still hold out hope for Deuce Vaughn, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think there's many reasons to be excited. I mean, there's also like who's going to get the second QB? Who's going to get the backup QB role for a lot of these teams? A lot of these teams have hammered in QB1, but QB2 may be more of a question mark. And those guys at the bottom of the roster that are trying to get a roster spot and get the money, I mean, those battles can get intense.
Yeah, it can get intense. And depth is important. Like who gets the number 2 linebacker spot? Who gets the 3rd linebacker spot? That is what separates great teams from good teams, because they find the right type of player for them when there is an injury that occurs. They can fill that role.
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah, so not super exciting, but we're almost there. And that make sure to be prepared as we are preparing for the NFL regular season. So let us know your thoughts in the comments. We appreciate you listening to Outsiders Opinions.